set well. Hey, there we go. There's audio. Oh, wait. There's more audio. Wow.
Lights,
Crazy.
sound,
Sound. Yes. So, welcome
drums,
to this episode,
guitar,
Natural One.
let it be rock.
Welcome to Dark Matter episode 2.
2?
Yeah, we already had
That
episode
was it,
1.
episode 0?
No, that was episode 1, baby.
Oh, wow, we were really rocking it then.
Oh man,
You're all level 1.
This
This is the hard beginnings. There's not much to you guys up until now.
oh
Whoa! When did we get to
Did I-
level 1? I missed that.
did I miss the cold
Dylan.
open?
So, you
Are we fighting
guys
Vecna yet?
So in the last episode, you all began your journeys into the realm of this sci-fi adventure by kind of making your ways into the tower sanctum, marking up to moving up into the actual more, I guess, technological side of the tower, because your initial part was almost like a hospital wait room. Moving up, though, to more of what seemed like a more true living space. You inevitably met the head of the Gabos Frame Project, Dr. Lindsay Cross. She was graciously told you as much information as she could before you guys would head off to a procedure. That which would be done by Dr. Gerb Diaz, the wonderful surgeon who has no questionable history whatsoever.
He just had a brief film career in Japan. Very
I really hope
specific
this
type
guy's
genre.
Another human head onto another human body.
You know,
Because he damaged
knows?
the other.
I mean,
who knows who knows what may have happened / may happen yet to come.
all those.
What
all
we do
those
know is
tentacles,
that
man.
the three test subjects, Avant-Garde, Linhart, and Gray, all began, or kind of essentially got themselves placed in for their Gabos frame implants, and kind of at the return of Linhart to no, who's the last one? It wasn't Linhart, was it? Was it Linhart or was it Gray?
The last one was me.
It was Gray. Yes.
It was
so as Gray kind of finished his procedure, we left off the end of the episode with Linhart still unconscious, but an awoken Avant-Garde. Now, there's a note I want to make for each of you. If you'll look at your character sheets, you may notice some special dots, if you will.
Yeah.
So between sessions, I wanted to make the note that, essentially that I wanted to note whatever people had for for skills or for what they had done in the past, because these things will actually influence what they kind of are able to do as they move forward. So this is more especially true, though, for those who are a part of the Gabos project, but the Vect are easily applicable to this as well, at least as members of the tower. Make it a lot easier for this to kind of be a special attribute. So each of you will notice that you will have a set of either bonus skills or an expertise. The way this worked was if it was a skill, if this was a skill that essentially would have been given to you by I was looking at essentially what skills would be applicable to you from your previous occupations. So if it was a skill that you already had, and so correct me if I didn't do this so you guys can double check my work as well. But if it was just a skill that you didn't know, or you didn't have any proficiency in, but it was I deemed it relatable to your previous experience, You were given just an expertise, and that was it. So it was expertise in that skill and nothing else. If it was a skill you already had proficiency in, I gave you expertise and half proficiency in a different skill that was applicable. And then if it would, or I did neither of those things and I gave you 2 proficiencies that you didn't already have.
Oh.
That's pretty neat.
It was partly dependent. It was partly dependent on kind of what I was going for.
I was really curious what that blue circle was next to my investigation. I'm like, I don't think it was that high last time.
No, so
I
obviously
think Marshall tinkered with my sheet.
Yes, and I did not give you half proficiency. No, you did not already have investigation. That's right. So you were good.
I was like, no way my investigation is that high. I don't even think I was proficient.
No, you're not. But you do have it now, just kind of based on your previous experience, kind of lending itself to actually needing to have that ability and kind of make yourself relatively good at it.
Oh, my camera's off. I don't know why I was giving a thumbs up.
So, going into this new session now, so we kind of come back. We kind of come back to QR, Avant, and Enum. The 3 of you. Linhart has been asleep, so we actually are kind of coming back now to the point where you will see Gray kind of similarly to Linhart and Avant kind of rise into the bed. And then similarly as Gray kind of rises up, Linhart, you will awaken.
Mask on or off?
Your mask is on.
They respect your boundaries. All right, so we're conscious now, or are we just laying there?
You are unconscious.
Okay.
Linhart and Avant are up, as well as QR and Enum. Avant has been up, staring out the window.
And still am.
And
Continuously screaming.
And Linhart just is awaking. So Linhart, you kind of rise, you awaken, kind of somewhat sense of kind of almost new vitality in a way. You feel there's almost a slight benefit to some of your functions.
The bird's by the window again, right?
Yes.
Dimmer. All the way down to opaque.
Okay, so so you start to see Avant. You do start to see Linhart walking towards the dimmer again.
Alright. Well, then, as his hand reaches, I'm gonna peck it.
All right, make an attack
by
roll.
the window.
Oh my god!
It's kind of like
First PvP.
It's like a
Second
shade.
session and we're already tearing each other apart.
Unless you roll really bad, you'll probably get hit me.
I rolled a 14.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you just do your unarmed strike damage. Yeah, just do your unarmed strike damage.
Was that just a D4?
Yeah,
Bludgeoning
it
and
should say on
piercing.
there. Yeah, it is 2 damage, so you take 2 damage.
Oh, I already know that one.
Yeah, up in your actions in the by all your attacks, you'll see unarmed strike.
Ooh.
Sadly, your strength doesn't benefit you here.
It's 1/5 of my health.
If you wish to turn it down, that is fine. But to turn it off, then you'd have to fight these hands of mine.
Enum and QR, you are hearing this conversation, by the way.
Hard.
How well can we hear the conversation? Like, can we make
You're in
out
the
the
room.
actual words that are being said?
Yeah, you're in the room.
Oh yeah, you're okay.
You're
Sure.
hanging out with him.
I turn to look at them and I say, "That was a rhyming couplet. You've been doing a very good job with those, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed."
I hear it now. I hear it so much more.
It's so great.
Does
I
the
love
bird seem
it.
distracted by that comment?
Rest in peace,
I don't know,
Reggie.
does it distract you at all?
I'm still staring out the window.
Okay, well, he's still at the window.
Can't believe Bowser killed Reggie.
I can't believe it. The audacity.
I'm sorry, let's continue.
Stop.
I'm unconscious.
It's gonna take away inspiration.
You don't even have any.
I was gonna
Negative.
say, we have inspiration already?
Like,
Damn.
it gives you negative. You have to use a dice
It
roll to
makes you roll
take away
disadvantage.
points.
No, you have to roll. I
Your
choose
next
when you
roll is
roll
at
a disadvantage.
Yeah.
No, it's when I choose. Instead of when
Yeah,
you
when
choose
you
a
choose.
Oh, that's
disadvantage,
even
I
worse.
choose when you have disadvantage.
Doing the finishing blow on the
I
final
should
boss.
implement that. I should implement that negative inspiration.
Oh,
That'd be
man.
good. That'd be good. Fit with the theme. of
As
the
soon as
show.
someone rolls a natural 20, he's like, nah. Remember that comment 3 sessions ago? Roll a disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Nah, man.
Remember that time you made fun of my NPC?
Remember when you stole my OC?
Hey, now let's not get real. Let's not get real in this.
It's a serious problem.
Anyways, yeah, turn the window off.
Right, he goes at the dimmer again.
Alright, and as he moves towards him, I'm gonna peck him again.
Okay.
As soon as he pecks me, I'm gonna grab his shoulder and cast.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, make the attack roll.
Yeah.
And granted,
15.
Enum and
That's
QR,
not
you,
good.
you know what your duties are. Your
Yes, I do.
Kill.
Your babysitters.
Yep.
The minute they start
I'm
taking
going
each other, kill
to-
them all.
So I'm
Jade, does
gonna- I'm
15
going-
hit?
I'm gonna let these two. I'm gonna let these two
Yeah,
actions
that's what
take
I
place
thought.
first.
I
Yep.
miss. I whiff.
Okay, so he attempts to grab at you. So you give him a peck again, and then he tries to grab back at you, and you're kind of able to move away. So QR, what were you going to do?
Oh, does he hit or am I still at 8?
Well, what did you roll, Avant?
Oh, that was a 14.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah, so yeah, he hit you, and then you missed your attack. So QR,
Yeah,
what were you going to do then?
QR stands up. And he's going to start walking over to the two of them. And he says, "Now, boys, what you're doing right now isn't very nice. And it could have negative effects on the rest of our group and on our mission. I know things are tense right now. But I truly believe if we can set aside our differences, we'll become better friends for it. Or I could do the other thing.
All
I
right.
think you should do the other thing. Well,
Do you have anything to say for yourself, scolded ones?
does not seem like.
Stare. Cold
Well,
stare.
they're just silent, huh?
Yeah, I guess they're just giving
Give me a
you
minute.
I mean, if they're not actively fighting with each other now, I'm gonna kind of walk up and I'm gonna like put myself between them, kind of push them away from each other, and just be like, "Be cool, be cool."
You are. How can you say
Be
something
cool.
like that when you don't know what cool is?
My head rotates around without the rest of my body moving to like look at Enum. How do I want to do this?
Oh, the PvP!
Or is it
Marshall,
just
can
going
I?
to be like the... What?
You're the DM, but can I request a perception check from Enum?
I mean, you can make one at your will.
QR's eyes go red.
I'll make a
Sick. I
perception
can't-
It depends,
check.
I guess, on what you're attempting to perceive or look at.
I
can't
perceive
use
nothing.
that now.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. So yeah, he turns his head around and looks at you, and he says, "Enum, I've had a long time to think about it, and that's not a very nice thing to say. But I'm willing to forgive you." And then he's gonna rotate the head back around to the other two and be like, "As for you two, be cool. Breathe. Be cool."
Be cool.
Be cool.
Enum just scowls because of how like patronizing what he just said was.
He chortles. Oh man. Gray twitches in his sleep.
Infighting. Infighting.
Gentlemen, you're going to wake the baby. And I think we all know that's not a good idea.
You're
That
going
comment
to
I
wake
cast
the
sleep on
baby.
Bird.
You do what?
I cast sleep.
Ha,
Yes.
joke's on you. I'm already asleep.
Yeah, so that's
Pointless.
that is 16 points. So Jade was
The sleep stacks.
no. It's,
I'm asleep forever.
how much HP does your character have, Jade? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
It's Avant. Avant-garde.
Avon. How much HP does Avon have?
You'll have to forgive me. I lost my card, but you were addressing avant-garde.
Well, I'm assuming you have less than 16 health.
That was a rhyming couplet.
Yes.
More twitching.
You fall asleep, Jade.
Turn the window. I turn the window off and I go back to my bed.
I was gonna say, so Kiora, you see him kind of point his hand out, and Avon falls asleep.
It's so nice being on the other side of the.
Something you have come to recognize as the sleep spell.
Oh, how much
So-
HP does QR have?
You may find yourself slightly disappointed about the Vect.
Nah.
Damn, he doesn't have 6 HP.
I mean, oh, no. Huh. All right. So QR, you see him put Avant to sleep.
The window goes opaque.
So,
and
so at
walking
this
back to
point,
bed.
two members of our party are asleep, right?
Well, one from a procedure, one due to the other. So
Right. And I'm sorry, Linhart, what did you just do?
he casts
I
sleep
made the window
on,
opaque. I cast sleep. I turn the window opaque, and I walk back to my bed.
Yeah, so you saw him kind of flash his hand to Avant, made him fall asleep. 'Cause you recognize this as the sleep spell.
Does it look like Linhart is about to go back to sleep also? Or is
No,
it
he's just staring at the wall again.
staring at the wall? So QR is gonna turn to Enum, this time just like a natural turn. He doesn't like rotate the head around. And he's going to run his finger along a section of his jawline, and you just hear like this, like, and he speaks again in like this lowered voice, like he's turned the volume down on his voice. Perhaps we should take a moment to discuss the situation outside of the room. And he's going to like start walking out the door.
Avon wakes up. It only lasts a minute.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Avant, eventually you get up as they kind of move around.
Well, then I get up, see the windows blackened again, and begin screeching.
So about by the end of about when QR asks you, Enum, to walk outside, the bird wakes
Wait,
up and screeches.
Eh.
Do I wake up because of the screeching?
It feels so good casting sleep on someone.
Yes.
Yeah, I can never get to work either.
All right.
No,
As Gray
powerful
wakes
for
up,
system,
he's
Laura.
as Gray wakes up, he's also screaming because all he hears is screams. So he's automatically thinking that we're in a bad situation.
Yes. The cause of Avant then wake up Gray in a fright. So now, Enum, you have a lot of stimuli happening right now.
I leave.
QR
I
QR
leave.
asks you to go outside. The
I'm
bird wakes up
waving.
and screams, and then Gray wakes up and screams.
I am for once agreeing with QR and happily leaving the room.
So
Agent of Chaos.
as they leave, as you guys leave the Gray, I imagine you stop screaming around then, as you see the two robots walking out, and you're now able to kind of see Linhart sitting in his bed, staring at the wall, and the window black, and Avant screeching, just kind of on the ground still.
I'm gonna hop off the bed, trip, fall, and then get back up, and then go to the doorway, to the dial to turn it on.
All right, the sun comes back.
Yay!
And then I drop to the floor.
You'll notice it is a bit later in the day at this point. By the way, it's the sun. It's not sunset, but it's kind of more in the later afternoon.
Hi, guys. I'm sitting down next to the window, back to the wall.
All right. I'll come back to you guys actually in a second. So QR and Enum, you guys left the room.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Robots.
Yeah, so I take Enum outside, and I kind of just walk like a really short distance down, just to get like sort of out of hearing distance from them.
And kills them.
There could only be one.
No.
Our time has come. Must Patrick.
I turn to Enum and I say, well, actually, no. QR lets out a sigh. He just goes like, Enum, I'm not a teacher. And I don't believe you are either.
I'm very sick and tired of these adult babies.
Great description.
I think you are as well.
I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I understand that given the conditions, they might be a little concerned about their well-being. But there comes a point where they'll have to be able to think, act, and rely on themselves. We have to show them that it's up to them to decide their own destiny. I heard that in a song once.
That last line makes me want to punch you a little bit, but I do appreciate the motivation of freedom that sort of speaks to my soul. Maybe I was slightly wrong about you, QR, but maybe not. I do agree, though, that we should try to help these people because they're driving me crazy. And the sooner that they can stop screaming at every second of the day, I will be able to be a lot happier.
I put my hand on Enum's shoulder. This sounds like a great plan. And maybe afterwards, we can have a frank and honest discussion about the fact that you are denying the fact that you have the inability to have a soul. As a Vec, with an emotional
There's so much
you have to
going on this
understand
campaign. I love it.
that we do not possess this soul-like quality that other living, breathing things seem to have. It's gonna be okay, big guy. We'll make it through it. And I pat his face a couple times, and then I start heading back to the room.
Existential crisis measures engaging.
There.
So before
Is that plant still on that table nearby?
no, that was in the office.
That was in the office, dang it. Is there anything nearby in this hallway?
Not in this hallway. No, you have to go around the corner a bit.
Oh, okay.
So, but before you guys head in, all right. So, what is the? So Gray, you turned off the lights. You greeted everybody, then that was kind of where we cut off. So,
Yep.
we'll go from there.
How do I feel, by the way, having just woken up?
Well, you woke. You're in a surgery induced slumber, so you're probably going to be a lot more groggy now, a little more kind of hazed. Since you didn't wake up naturally, you'd probably, that it's that just drug coma haze, being abruptly awoken by it.
Okay. So I'm just staring at everybody. And saying, yeah, that was fun. How are you guys feeling? I feel like shit. Like I said, I have my back to the wall. I'm sitting right next to the window.
I find Avent's obsession with solar radiation disconcerting.
Boy, howdy, you will not like this. I got a whole page of notes about different rhymes for the word sun.
One of them, ironically, is pun.
Write that down. Write that down.
Well, but I don't know anything about Avant's culture.
Roll a history check for me.
Okay, I can definitely do that, and I can definitely fail for you. That is a 4 plus 5. That's a 5 total.
Nice.
Woo!
Well. Did I not?
What do I need to pass? 5. 100. Oh.
It's a really low DC.
You rolled a 4?
I rolled a 5 total.
Well, your roll was a 4, right? Or was your...
Yeah, my roll's a 4.
Well,
But I
technically,
got
it's
a
a
plus 1.
It's a 6. You have a plus 2. You have half proficiency.
I have half proficiency in
Look at your
history.
character sheet.
It says plus 1.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's your up. It's up with
Refresh.
you.
Refresh.
Refresh it.
I had to refresh it. I didn't know what he was talking about.
I got the expertise in medicine. I didn't know I had it in history. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's a
Refresh.
6. It's a 6. It's
No,
a 6.
but I just
fix
want
it.
you to be aware. I want to make sure you're aware that these things that it changed. I want you to know that it's a plus 2. But no, it does not change it. Yeah, no, you really haven't you haven't come across the Aviara really much at all. The only thing you do know, because it's very generic history and very important. It's kind of like to say you wouldn't know about this would be like somehow you don't know about World War II. Like, so the only thing you know is that they had a large war with the elves, which pretty much kind of ended around when the elves made a pact with the Vect. But that was about 100 years ago, so it was a long time ago.
Okay.
You know that they're essentially their home world is around the Sepulchre Star, which to many people, not even just the Aviara, but to many people is a relative holy place.
Okay, so I do know it's religious in nature.
Yes.
Neat. Yeah, so to Linhart, I say.
Not knowing the Sepulchre Star is like being like, what's Christianity?
Right?
What Jesus?
I look at Linhart, and that's why I tell him. I think it's a religion thing with him. It's kind of insensitive of you to take that away from him, man.
Again, I
You
find
similarly
Avent's
would know this.
obsession with solar radiation disconcerting.
Oh, great!
No, that's fair.
You're an
And
edgy Tumblr atheist.
Yeah. As I'm saying that's fair, I'm falling off to the side and just laying there.
Without
Oh,
light,
I do not feel good. I need to ask the doctor what drugs he put into us.
Can we get more?
What are we wearing, by the way? Since I'm assuming we had a back procedure, I would think our clothes would be taken off.
Oh, I mean they were. You guys, when you came in, you guys are actually given these like, you kind of were given these like under jumpsuits. So pretty much when you guys came back, you're actually just in those jumpsuits.
Oh, nice.
Prison riot.
Yep. So yeah, I'm just laying on the ground. I look up at Alvon. How are you feeling, bird guy?
Happy car.
I meant big guy. I mean, yeah.
He gave you a happy call. That's fine. All right.
Hey,
So
that's
about now is when QR and Enum you enter the room.
Oh, our guides are back. Hey, fellas, how are you doing? I don't move around. I'm just waving from the ground.
Hello, Dr. Gray. I couldn't help but notice that you're currently at a lower elevation than myself. Do you need
Yeah.
any assistance with that?
I need a lot of assistance.
I'm going to reach down to pick him up like I did earlier to like carry him over to
With
the
like the fireman.
room. The like cradling a baby style hold.
Oh, okay.
I accept it. I'm like, oh, this is nice, actually.
So about when you
I'm
pick
glad
him
to
up.
see-
Oh, sorry.
I'm glad to see you're aware of how to properly hold an infant. I'm saying that as my face is facing away from
As a
him,
grown
over his
ass
shoulder.
man.
Yeah.
These are important
Who's
skills
very
to know.
tired.
That's about here. QR and Enum, both of you get a page from Dr. Cross. Well, if both of our patients are awake, which seemingly my sensor tells me is correct, if you could bring the subjects back to my office for the final debrief for today, I would greatly appreciate it.
Oh, thank God I don't have to deal with them anymore.
I
Okay,
got
we're
mail,
leaving.
and I drop Gray.
I get dropped.
That you do. From your weakness, I'm going to say you take 1 point of damage. You don't
I
break
will.
your fall as well as you would if you're more
Well,
fully in state
joke's
of
on
mind.
you. Joke's on you. It makes my HB a even number, and I'm okay with it.
All right. Well, you guys have
Alright.
been paged. Or more, the two robots have been paged.
We are leaving now.
Oh, that's fine. That's okay. Oh, my coccyx.
My coccyx.
I'm like crawling up QR to get up.
Where are we going to?
The doctor, something, whatever, move.
It's time to
And then I leave and I start walking out.
Very descriptive, and Leonard calls him out.
QR goes, starts saying, "It's time to go see Dr. Cross." And he like stops for a moment, looks at Enum, and then looks back to everyone. "It's time to go see Dr. Cross again."
I'm already out the door,
Same
walking
here.
down the hallway.
Yep.
All right.
Enum is very excited to go see Dr. Cross, and I say we all do the same.
Shut up, QR! You just hear.
That was just from down the hallway.
Oh, I see. I've read about this. Attachments to his creator, I would assume. I don't know how that works. I apologize. That was really insensitive of me. Shall we go? And I climb onto QR's back. I'm very hurt. Please hold me.
You're hurt.
You're able to
I
walk.
have 2/5. I have 3/5 of
Oh,
my
no. Gray's aware that he can walk. He just doesn't want to.
Let me know if you see any plants along the way, and I'm going to start walking out the door with Gray on my back.
Absolutely. We'll both stop and watch it.
So you guys start to walk out.
Does Avant
I
come
assume
with us? Or is he
avant-garde,
still
you're
staring at that
following
goddamn?
along.
Oh no, I'm not even paying attention. I'm staring out the window.
Like, great. Oh, so QR, you start to walk out, and you notice that Avant has not followed you.
Just slowly caressing the window.
How close is the sun being down?
A little closer now. It's a little closer to getting towards the sunset time.
And you think it's wrong of me to assume he has an obsession with solar radiation?
Avant-garde,
minor.
is there anything I can assist you with?
He doesn't seem to be paying attention.
I like poke
I'm gonna
QR
walk.
in the head. Hey, QR. I think if you shine something bright at him, he'll follow.
A cat.
QR is thinking for a moment.
This rate, whatever the other Vex name is, and Linhart's gonna get there first.
Great, it's a race between Enum and Linhart.
My money's on the robot.
Dr. Gray, I'm going to try something, and I shall see if it works.
Sounds good. I've got your back.
I'm going to. QR's gonna walk over to
Jamie can't handle
Avant-garde.
humor.
I know, right? QR's gonna walk over to Avant-garde. He's going to take one of his hands with his hand. And he's going to say, Avant-garde, I cannot help but wonder if perhaps you are missing the companionship of people of your own kind. Will this suffice? And he's going to play back an audio recording of some random ass bird that he encountered on another planet.
Gray's taking
A
notes.
bunch of tweets. Yeah,
trying-
just like a
Everyone's
bunch
being racist today.
of. Yeah, it's
He's
like
made so many mental notes.
yeah, it's just like these really light tweets, just like. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
How has Linhart been racist today?
I'm like, man. Just fascinating.
Yes, write that down. Write that down.
I don't have no. I'll just remember it. I'll just remember
I swear I'll remember.
it. He didn't remember.
It's me when I say I'm good. Remember
Well,
to do my
Avant.
homework.
And he responds,
Are you now ready to meet with Dr. Cross?
Pardon me, boys, but what was that noise?
Technically,
God.
it worked. It technically worked.
Oh, he speaks common.
Write that down.
Yeah.
QR's gonna slide his finger along the underside of the jaw, make his voice really quiet so that only
Oh,
Dr.
his
Gray can
jaw.
theoretically hear it. Yeah.
He's not going
Yeah,
up there.
I thought you were like trying to seduce Avant.
Yeah, that's,
See, that's why I got confused the first
Guys,
time because you
It's
went to
only
Enum.
session 2.
Well, you did that with Enum. So I
Only
was like,
session
like,
2.
you
We
just
got a long way to go.
I'm not worth a session 2.
just like.
All of our characters have such weird quirks.
we gotta be, man.
We have a super literal robot. We have one that's annoyed with the other robot. We got a bird obsessed with sunlight, and a fucking doctor that takes notes about everything. And we have the edgiest of edgelords.
Listen,
Also, I'm
what's nor-
here.
What's normal in space, man?
All right, well, Avant, what do you do?
You must wait until the sun is down. Then I am free to walk about town.
His vernacular is amazing.
QR.
Man,
The page comes in
So
frame of you, QR.
I have lowered the volume of my voice, and I say to Gray in a whisper, you know, it's curious. It seemed like before, when the sunlight had disappeared, it made Avant-garde very upset. But now, it seems like he's suggesting that without the sunlight, he is free to navigate of his own will.
Yeah, it does seem like
I must
that.
admit, I'm not entirely sure how to pursue a course of action from here.
Well,
QR, right?
you'll hear a page come into your head, QR. Um,
I got mail.
I grab on this time.
QR, what it's it's Dr. Cross. QR, Enum and Linhart practically raced to my door. What's taking you so long?
Hello, Dr. Cross. I am QR, but you already knew that.
I fully expected him to say his whole name again.
I am currently with Dr. Gray and Avant Garde. I will be joining you shortly with the both of them.
Well,
It's 2 hours till sunset.
can't you just press? Why are they waiting? Why are you waiting with them? What's taking you guys so long?
I am currently holding Avant Garde's hand in solidarity as he waits for the sun to go down.
Well, I don't have that time. I need to go home. All right, they need to get here. If you need to drag him here, just press the fail safe on the inside of his new or his new word. The name escaped me.
Jumpsuit.
No, the fucking. I'm just thinking of like
Whatever
the word.
frame.
Essentially, the word for this like addition.
I believe you're referring to the spinal implant.
Well, yeah, but there's a word. There's an actual word for these. That is now escaping me.
Cylinder.
Huh?
Hold on, DM. Let me check my notes and see if you mentioned it before.
No, it's just
Gabos Mini.
no. It's like the type of. It's the name for anything that you like.
The
Graft.
Gabos Galaxy.
Graft.
The Gabos Galaxy Star.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
put just put your just hit the fail safe on his graft and just drag him to my office if need be.
Okay. I'm going to let go of his hand, and I'm going to attempt to locate and activate the failsafe on the ground.
You've been alerted that this failsafe is by inserting your finger into the implant that's into the spine. So essentially, you use your finger to connect yourself to it, and by doing so, inputs a code that essentially paralyzes the host.
QR will do so.
All right.
I feel like this could bite us in the ass.
He starts to kind of you start to feel kind of QR go behind you. Avant, do you do anything, or are you still just staring out the window?
Window.
All right. Eventually, then he does kind of put his finger in your back. You feel a slight poke, and then you are entirely paralyzed.
Nah.
Like you fall flat on your back, paralyzed.
Oh wow.
Stiff as a doornail. You're conscious. You just can't move, speak.
Whoa. That's one way to get his attention. Good job, QI. I pat him with my robotic hand. I'm still on his back.
That was very effective. And I feel it's important to mention that I can do that to you as well, Dr. Gray.
That's absolutely frightening, but very good. It's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to know.
I'm going to pick up Avant-Garde, so now he is in the cold, loving embrace of my arms. And Dr. Gray is on my back, and I'm going to finally head over to Dr. Cross's office.
So during this entire time, I'm more just going to ask you this anyway. Enum or Linhart, do you either start a conversation with each other or with Dr. Cross while you're waiting in the office?
The only thing he says is that Avant-Garde has an obsession with solar radiation, and I find it disconcerting.
Enum, were you going
to... That's all Linhart says.
Enum, were you going to start a conversation
with them?
I'm like tapping my foot. Like, God, what is taking him so long?
So I'll kind of do duel then. So it'll be Enum. Hey, Enum, just relax. You know that any amount of cultures could be intertwined in this, and there may be different needs. I told QR to inject the fail-safe. Hopefully they should be here soon enough. But Linhart, the reality just is that, there are certain people that have their own beliefs. Some are stronger than others. Priests are moreover going to be obviously the most religious, so you just got to respect the way he is, and eventually we'll hope to kind of get him to more the effective side of things and be able to maybe dial it back a little bit, just enough so that he can get work done. You're all going to have to work together one way or another. It's best that you try to settle yourself in as much as you can. Otherwise, it's not going to be fun for you or anybody else. And more importantly, your potential for death is even higher. She kind of gives you a very stern look when she says that, Linhart. And I don't think I need to tell you that again. As about that, QR will enter with a paralyzed, very stiff avant-garde and kind of laxing Gray.
Question.
Okay, go ahead.
Question, real quick.
Yes.
How big are these doorways?
They're pretty big. They're roughly about
QR would take care not to
wide.
Bang Avant-Garde's head on the side of the door or anything like that.
They're even about. Like a total 5 foot wide door is actually very big.
Yeah, it's pretty wide.
Yeah, that's huge.
So,
but I think Avant is more than 5 foot tall. I'm under the impression QR is holding him just like this, and he's stiff as a board.
No.
Okay.
Not how paralyzation works. It doesn't.
As QR walks through the door, Enum says, "Wow, you walk almost as slow as your brain works."
To be fair, he's holding 2 of us.
Now. Gray raises a point.
Bad one.
Yep.
Careful
How are you doing,
on that
Doctor?
soldering gun.
Well, now that at least I'm not apparently missing my entire evening, better.
By the way, Vex are very strong. He was able to carry us with minimal effort. It's very fascinating. And I get off his back and I start walking around normally.
Well, based on what I know about QR, I'm willing to bet that you're getting close to the top end of things, though. Granted, he is built stronger than Enum is, but that is besides the point. Depends on the event.
Yeah.
Much like it depends on the person. For example,
I once knew a halfling who described me as having sick gains. I didn't know what it meant, but it made me feel very good about myself.
I'm sure it did, but I was going to say, granted, the difference would be equal to, I'm fairly certain that I'm stronger than you, Gray.
A lot of people can say that.
Yes, I'm sure. And yet there are probably some who are weaker than you. So it's they're not too different from you or I, outside of the cybernetics and the awakening soul that lies within them. That's a gray area.
I saw what you did there, and I'll concur with your statement, Doc.
Well, so
handshakes immediately.
Captain?
Captain.
Sir.
Jumper.
Watch that episode of that 70s show or on Sunday.
Donkey!
Doctor. He starts to look. He also leans in for a kiss. Doctor. All right. So anyway, QR, you can release Avant from his failsafe.
I gently stand him up, and then I just go boop, and I boop the spine.
All right, Avant, you kind of you're in control of yourself again.
I cover my ears just in case.
Was it just the one?
Yes.
Okay. Avant, I understand your connections to the sun above and everything, but I do request that when I call for your guys' attention, that you, or at least if your need be, that you'll be prompt and respectful of our needs as well as your essentially newfound employers. That being said, we will. That being said, we are going to be disconnecting the dimmer from your window so that we no longer have to face the horrible atrocity that just happened, and we're going to move on from there. Sound good? Good.
Happy car.
Guys, the DM's taking our toys away because we were bad with them.
I
That's
started
fine.
picking.
I hated playing with that thing.
Linhart has valid concerns about his obsession with solar radiation.
I find your obsession with my obsession obsessive.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I am
Let's
also
talk-
here.
Called you out.
Yeah, let's
No
talk
one
about it.
asked.
I
You are.
navigate to the next couch.
All right. Now, if you all could just please take a seat. If you wish,
Are
I
there
guess.
seats in there?
It's the same room you were in earlier.
Marshall, you expect me to remember the room layout from
There's
last
2
week?
couches
I
across from
apologize.
each other with a
Okay.
coffee table in the middle.
Thank you.
And then
I
her
sit down on the
office
couch.
with a big projector screen in the back of it, behind her chair.
Mm-hmm.
Or with just, big screen. It's not really a projector, but, Okay, so you all are connected. You awoke slightly earlier than I expected. I know why. You don't need to explain it to me. However, there's now we can get into more of what you guys will be needing to do and the fittings that you will have. I shall kind of hit a button, and like part of the coffee table, the hologram once again will dissipate, and kind of the center part of the table will the doors will kind of flap down and open up as you will see kind of a set of somewhat egg-shaped kind of devices raise up. They're kind of all on 3 individual shelves, as they will kind of dole out in front of each Avant, Linhart, and Gray. You'll want to grab those. You can place them on, and you should be able to connect right away. We'll have to go into an actual activation period to turn on your actual frame, but we will start that tomorrow morning before we kind of put you out in your first duty, and you meet the Astrologians Incorporated people. But these are the basis of your Gabos frame. So what these devices are essentially for is they house the nanotechnology that will actually power your frame. Traditional frames are just made out of different metals, whatnot, to create an armored shell. These are connected to you. So as we've mentioned a number of times, the benefits of this will allow you to have a greater set of enhanced abilities. Similarly, due to connecting to this will essentially give you better attribution to your abilities. However, there is going to be positives and negatives in the future as you grow when you have these worn and when you don't. For example, right now, due to the basis of is putting in these implants, you find yourself with a greater ability, greater connectivity to your Esper abilities. You have more heightened senses in certain things, and it's easier to attain maybe some knowledge that you once had. That's just due to you being connected and having these graphs implemented into your systems. The base AI essentially starting to be connected. This is kind of the second half to the learning AI. It was in these backpacks. And so as you grow, you'll actually find that those senses start to find themselves to be even more enhanced. You'll be able to cast even better magical abilities. You'll have, better strength than maybe you even knew before. But that is only when you have the frame activated. When you don't, you will kind of revert back to the way you are now. So somewhat going into off-table talk so that I can talk in more layman's terms. The way that this will work is that for you guys, if you do not have your Gabos frame activated, which you can do essentially as a reaction. I put that in quotes somewhat because potentially you by rolling initiative I'm putting in a special reaction for you to activate them at the start of your turns. However, what it won't help you in is a surprise round. So if somebody surprises you or whatever, then you will not be protected by it, or if it's not connected to you in the first place. So in order to apply it, essentially what it would be, and so you can maybe make a note of this, but it's not something you'll have to really input into your character sheet as much. But essentially the way it will work is that right now you guys can kind of keep the ACs you have for that, but what will be kind of important to know is your flat AC, which is that, or like I think it used to be called like flat foot, I think. But it's essentially your AC without the armor on.
Okay.
You'll want to have a note of that somewhere, because if somebody does catch you in a surprise round and you don't have it activated, or you do not have your Gabos backpack connected to you, then you cannot access your armor and things like that. So essentially the way this will work is that your current abilities are just the way they are, with or without the backpack. So your skills, all the stuff you have right now at level 1, that's it, right? That's everything you've got. You know, it's the same with or without the backpack, just your AC changes essentially. With the backpack, so say now when you guys are later levels, if you have your backpack on, you will have all of your character sheet abilities. But if you take it off, you're back down to a level 1 character. So some things will be important to somewhat keep notes of, but otherwise, in general, it's somewhat easy to keep track. Instead of, you just have to reduce whatever your proficiency bonus is when you do math, back down to a level 1 ability. At some points, it'll be somewhat of a mind game. Eventually, it'll be easy for me to tell if you add your later level 1, because it'll be like, it's like, oh, I rolled a 6. So that's a 14. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Whereas, for a few levels, it'll be, for a number of levels, it will be somewhat hard to tell. So just have to kind of stick to as much of the honor part as you can. If we screw up, we screw up. It's fine. We're human. We as players.
Most
Are
of us.
human.
I am also here.
So that is essentially kind of explaining the mechanical side of the way this will work. We'll get more into it later. But it is also what will allow you to access your class weaponry. So the stuff that you guys picked as like your equipment, your starting equipment and whatnot, that's accessed through your Gabos frame. So I'll somewhat ring back into Dr. Cross here. You'll also find a kind of a special addition to the way that their weapons are implemented compared to traditional frames. Many times you kind of carry the weapons on your own. The frames just kind of hold the weapons you already have rather than housing them. Now your weapons are essentially housed as part of your Gabos frame. So as you kind of get upgrades, you can essentially install any type of weaponry into your frame should you need new ones should you ever buy or find new ones per the need. However, we've kind of set you off with a very basic, based on your preferences, a very basic implementation of the weapons that are of what you guys kind of so chose as your desires. Currently, we eventually will give these to you, but currently we are leaving our stun guns, which are not or do not attach to you, which would be accessible to your persons without the armor, to QR and Enum. That way, it's more so that we can, if there is any need be, that QR and Enum are mainly kind of the first line of defense. We would rather, for at least kind of while you're starting out here and we're feeling out for any potential side effects to occur, that essentially we have the means to be able to ensure the other safety and your own. So kind of making sure that QR and Enum are the only two with weapons that are accessible outside of your frame is the safest thing. Eventually, we will get you some for your own outside of armor protection, but for now, your weapons are going to be limited to when you are actively using your frame. So once we'll actually activate your frames tomorrow morning, but you can connect to these. They're built to somewhat be comfortable to sleep in. We've had mixed results about how people feel about sleeping with them in. You are able to disconnect your backpack whenever you wish. You do not. There's nothing keeping you from having it in outside of your safety. So we would request that when you're outside of this facility, you leave it in.
Sounds good.
Any questions from any of you?
I have one, but it's not in character. It is to the DM.
Yes.
Now, in the Dark Matter book, it shows what proficiencies we should have in this settings. Do we go off of that, or do we go off the regular one?
No, I'm sticking with the regular one because going with the cut, they have some custom skills that are a little too complicated. I kind of just went with more of like what I felt your background would have based on your job, not your background. The ones that are in there are for backgrounds. They somewhat include occupations, but they're more based on the background. I wanted you just to go based on whatever. So you guys said your backgrounds already.
I meant weapon proficiencies.
Oh yeah, no, you because they're giving you a starting set. This is like what you're getting like essentially the normal starting gear set. So you are getting like nanomachine like versions of like crossbows or as I think we mentioned it once when we did the initial testing version of this, ammunition is irrelevant because who kept track of that anyway? But you essentially, yeah. So your quarterstaff isn't just like a normal wooden stick. It's like it's a special type of material that'll actually do damage to things with armor on it.
Yeah, conduct shillelagh.
It can, yes. It is.
Okay, that's my
yes. The wood part has to also be. Shillelagh is the way we're doing it is that it's more of like a compatibility thing, right? It's like it's like a USB going into the right USB. As long as they're compatible, they're good. Will it work with wood still? Yes. Will it work with your weapon? Yes.
Does it trigger you as a druid knowing that you have to wear metal armor?
No, we've made this note, and I've made this note to him directly. But overall, the ideas of what obviously like the druid means in traditional D&D is very different to what it means in this.
Yeah, I mean
they are still pretty attuned to nature.
Giant metal man.
Like there's elven druid conclaves that essentially drive flying space trees.
They're the best.
They're pretty weird when you've never seen them before.
I disagree.
So then,
I feel like we absolutely agree. What do you mean?
No, I disagree that they're the best. Screw that.
Oh, yes. I thought you were saying that you disagree that they're kind of weird to look at the first time.
Oh, no. I agree that they're weird, but I disagree that they're the best.
So then, question to Dr. Cross.
Okay, yes.
Doctor, what other resources do we have other than these suits?
Well, like I said, you'll have essentially you will have a number of equipment that will be given to you outside of excess equipment. You'll be given equipment from when you actually talk to the Astrologians Inc. people tomorrow morning. They will give you some things that you need to kind of be able to head out. It'll be things. It's in case some things take too long. Like they'll essentially give you different packs based on your choosing.
Well, by which when I say resources, I do mean, will I get a lab? Will Alvance get a shrine to worship in? Would Linhart get multiple masks? Because I assume the one he has on is the one he has on, and they get gaudy in there for so long. Would our two Vect friends be able to get repairs? Stuff like that.
Well, your Vect friends are employees of this, so they already get their enhancements and repairs by just being here. So you don't have to worry about them. They've been employees for a good while now. They've been solid employees. They've been wonderful assistants to my work. However, for whatever your needs are, they're dependent. The idea of the lab, well, you're free to ask Dr. Gerbdiaz if you would wish to work with him on anything. That's his discretion. I'm not the deciding factor to that. I'm not going to be held responsible for that conversation to have happen. So it is his discretion if you wish to work in his lab.
Are you saying, Doctor? I'm sorry. I'm under the bizarre impression that we're not working out of here.
As we mentioned in your debriefing initially, you will be working with Astrologians Incorporated in order to test this equipment. Being in a lab does not do that. If you have when you have free time, you are obviously free to visit Dr. Gerbdiaz. But I'm sorry, Dr. Lay, but you are not the doctor you were. You are now an employee.
Yeah, Doctor, you're misinterpreting my words. What I'm trying to say is, are we staying here? Is this our where we are to live in, or are we going to a separate facility?
Nope, the room you have been in here. We are sharing a building with astrologians, hence why they are the ones who will be working with you. So essentially, we will just be going downstairs tomorrow morning, and then you'll be heading out for work.
And that's perfectly fine. And may I just say that the PhD remains no matter what I do.
I assumed you had an MD, but okay. Interesting. I didn't know these things.
Either or. I have multiple.
Cool.
Yeah, I got the MD in psychiatry, but the PhD is in animal biology or alien biology.
Huh. Well, anyway, you'll all be staying here. The room you're in is your living quarters, hence why all your stuff is there. In terms of the shrine concern, there is essentially a hollow bay. Actually, just essentially across the hall from here. So not far. It is able to suffice for any religious needs. Or any other needs. I'm going to say this now.
Get something.
I'm going to say this now. This is my warning to everybody. Well, actually, mainly the three of you. Since this is concerned. We know what you put in. Like, it is logged what is put into the hollow bay. So we know what you do in the hollow bay. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like that's to avoid the Star Trek boardroom.
I see. You just don't want us to watch porn. Understandable. I'm not sure why you were skating around the topic. But...
We just know. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making any judgments or claims.
Of course. Doctor,
Dr. Cross, would I be able to store additional paint and easels in the hollow bay?
No, you have your storage bay for that.
You're absolutely right. That was a trick question.
I like him.
I just love how every time QR talks, Enum sighs really deeply.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I also like him. He's cool. I like his contempt.
More like discontempt, but okay. So, all right. Any other final questions before you all leave for the evening?
Can we get QR fired?
What? Sorry.
Can QR be gone?
No, you've both been doing just fine.
Try.
Do you hear that, Enum? We're both doing a great job. I've always believed in you.
For those with the more biological setup, when do we get chow?
Well, if you're hungry, you can call for it from your room. You should be able to use the on-screen device to request a meal.
That's amazing. Linhart, you hear that? We get room service.
It should be no different from most of the ships you've been on in the past.
I've found some pretty bad ones. Rogians don't really give us the flight of luxury.
It's not really a luxury for most people, and I'm surprised they delay. Never know. There are some less advanced parts of the galaxy.
No, you wouldn't be wrong there.
Hopefully, you don't find yourselves in any of those later on, especially not the dark zones.
I sense foreshadowing in your voice.
I hope not. Otherwise, both you and Enum are not going to be having a good time.
I never do when I'm with QR.
It is impossible to have a bad time when Enum is around. And I give him just like the goofiest thumbs up ever.
I absolutely love the two. Their dynamic's amazing.
If we were not at work, I would be snapping that thumb.
All right, you two.
I haven't learned how to snap yet.
God! God!
All right.
Peyton, you were worried that
take
we'd
them
be
back to their
enemies.
rooms. QR and Enum, you may
No,
return
I
back
think
to
it's
your
still
own
gonna happen.
quarters. You may
Yes,
return
but
back to
don't-
your own quarters for the evening. You're dismissed.
Thank you, Doctor.
I'm going to go get started on a new painting.
The plant is like out in the hallway over here, right?
Yes.
I like as we're walking away, I say, QR, you enjoyed this plant, correct?
Not only did I enjoy that plant, I found it to be incredibly fascinating, and it served as a bonding point between myself and Dr. Gray.
I just push it off the table.
That's unfortunate for you. So, as you try to push the plant, it actually is incredibly heavy. You find
Oh
yourself,
no.
so because let's see, make a strength check. Why don't you? Let's do that.
I think Marshall's done with our shenanigans.
That's
Especially
a,
after it took us an
I'm
hour
having,
to leave
I'm
the
having
room.
space fun now.
that's a 14.
That's real unfortunate. So you don't. It seems to entirely stay still. Let's see, and it will successfully nip at you.
Oh,
Got that
right.
notebook
Yeah.
handy?
So you need to roll a Constitution saving throw at advantage.
BBC ball.
Alright.
Nat 20.
Good, that helps you out. So you will not face a realm of exhaustion, but guys will notice that this tiny little plant all of a sudden transforms into like essentially a giant, like, think of the plant from what was it?
Little patch up a horse.
No, the science. Oh, yes, you're correct. Yes, and
Small.
as it like
Yeah, you
tries
nailed it.
to nip at him, and it like chomps at his shoulder, and then like I said, you'll take 7 points of damage.
7?
Yes,
Oh my god.
and reverts back.
You
You are not exhausted.
I gotta remind you that's from the Dormant Conclave. Things run differently over there.
The plant was so
Yes,
large. What a
I
fight.
know. That was all part of my plan.
To be
Very
Get through
interesting.
there with such little light.
Ow.
Interesting technique. I appreciate you testing out the plant for me. I always wanted to see it in action.
Well, you know.
I'm glad the venom
All
didn't
I
take,
do is
take
care
hold
about
of
it.
A prideful robot, Edom is.
you. Oh man, I can't wait to write down notes. I need to find a pad to write this on. I'm not walking in a random direction.
I love space. I can have so many
I'm
fun
space.
things that don't exist in the real world.
Like self-esteem,
Yeah.
loved ones.
No, not that one. No. All right.
Let's not get too
Eventually,
crazy.
the two robots get you guys back to your room or your dorm.
If any of you would like to join me, I'm going to be painting a new picture for my collection. All are welcome.
Sure, it will be terrible.
That's the spirit.
QR, well, we definitely would love to watch that. I think we just need to get some time to get our bearings. To understand this where we are now. Maybe another day.
I completely understand, and I want you to know that the invitation is always open.
Wonderful. By the way, and I'm gonna lean in close to QR.
By the way,
What do you paint? Like, is this something from inside of you? Do you have a soul? Is there? Give me all of your details. Bless you, Lionheart.
QR, roll a history check to determine what you know of the Vect race as a whole. You can make this one at advantage since you are working with Dr. Cross, who is an expert, if you will.
I think we lost
Dylan?
Dylan.
Roll a 1. Who's rolling here? Is he
Oh,
rolling
no.
or am I rolling?
You're rolling a history check with advantage.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and do that. That's going to be...
Roll a 1 with
And
advantage. That'd be
that's
sad.
Sick. Let's see here. 80 plus 2. It's going to be a dirty 20 because I rolled 2 18s.
Noise.
Noise.
So,
Nice.
before working with Dr. Cross, you hadn't known too much about the origins of your kind, but kind of working with her, because again, she's somewhat of a veritable expert on kind of a lot of robotics, including the Vect. You know that the Vect have a very long history, but one that is almost kind of shrouded in somewhat of a mystery. Not many Vect know really of their origins. They know. It is known that you were built in the Foundry, which is this large, essentially ship controlled by an AI that creates the Vect and then sends them into the world where they are inevitably awakened and they live their lives. So the source of what has, and all that is in record is that just one day, all the Vect awakened at the same time. So there is no real knowledge as to if the Vect have a soul, if they're really what drives their being, what makes them conscious, what makes them kind of have personalities. You just know that your origins stem from the Foundry. And the dwarves.
Dr. Gray?
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I know from conversations with others that the Vect gained this sense of consciousness after an incident regarding the Foundry, where many of us are created. But speaking for myself, I woke up 7 years ago, and I do not know what happened prior to those events.
I see. All right.
As for painting, I find that it helps me to relax. It is a great way to de-stress from the events of the day.
QR, one of these days I'm going to have to psychoanalyze you. You're a very interesting specimen. You too, Enum. I'm talking to Enum as well.
I imagine Enum would have left by this point.
Nah, I'm still standing there. I say I would have
Linhart's gone.
maybe, but first things first is I would appreciate if you'd stop treating people of our race as objects and specimens.
Oh no, the psychoanalyzing is being able to identify what makes you you, and I find you two very interesting. And everybody's a specimen to me. It's my field of study.
Then Enum starts to leave.
Consider Enum.
I would love to find out that like when QR is painting, like it's just this like new age metal music.
Yeah.
Like
We could find out if you want.
QR is painting. It is painting in his office.
Wake me
Yeah,
up!
it's new age metal music, but it's like totally whatever he's painting is like Bob Ross-esque. Just
Yeah.
happy trees.
But
I
yeah.
leave it fully to the DM as far as that goes. If we want to find out what happens when he paints.
We'll find
Totally
out
up to
when
you.
somebody goes to see.
Yep.
All right, QR. I'm going to take a rain check. But one of these days, you got to show me what you paint.
I don't know about that. On account of there hasn't been much rain at all.
That's fair. Old saying, my people.
Have a good evening, Dr. Gray.
You too, QR. Take care. Good luck with Enum. Don't worry, I'm sure he loves you as a friend.
QR doesn't say anything. He kind of like tilts his head for a moment, and you can hear like a slight whirring of machinery in his head.
He's dialing up.
And then, yeah. And then he just says again, have a good night. And he turns around and he walks away.
That is perfectly unnerving. I say that once he's out of earshot, and I go in.
All right, Avant. So Linhart, you went in the room, but Avant, what did you go in the room right away, or did you stick around for this conversation?
Straight to the window.
Okay. Yes, Linhart. Upon coming into the room, you would notice that the dial next to the window is gone.
This saddens Linhart.
But you will enter to find in that it is sunset.
Bad
So-
wall stare.
Orange sky. You actually find yourself with the strange part you find yourself about looking at this window is that you're looking at the window, and usually, especially at sunset, like saying this to you as a player, when you look at sunset, like it's super bright. Like it's possibly worse than when you see the sun in the middle of the day. Like it's just right at you, and like this sun is like straight at you. Yet you're looking at it, and it's almost like there's no bother to you. Like you're able to see it, and it doesn't like burn your eyes at all. It's almost like seeing an image of the sun on a screen.
I mean, he is wearing a mask.
I'm pretty sure he's describing this to Advent.
That's for
Kind of both of you, because you're in the room. You're able to see
Yeah.
the sun. A decent sized window. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys see. So, Gray, you enter the room there.
Mm-hmm.
See Linhart staring at a wall. Avant staring at the sun. Veritable science.
Hey, gentlemen, come quick. I'm gonna go up to Linhart. I'm gonna indicate to Alon to come close.
I think you're not getting much reaction there.
Well, I'm next to Linhart. I'm just looking at Alon. Alon, over here.
Nice.
He's just keeping it silent.
Top tier RP right here, guys.
Staring at the window.
Staring at the wall.
You're getting nothing.
Okay. Well, he already knows about this. Linhart, I face completely to Linhart. Do you know of the thing that's on our backs right now? There's something to them. Something I think you should know. You already saw the end result. Right. So I go up to Evan. I go up to Evan and I press the button on his back.
I mean, that does nothing. You try to poke him in the back. You feel yourself get poked in the back.
Where is it?
Feathers are ruffled once again.
Sorry, Evan. Just hold still for a second. I'm looking for the implant.
Do you poke inside of the hole? Because like I said, like I mentioned in the last episode, it's kind of like a cone going into the back. So there's like this crevice in your spine, and then there's a metal ring around it.
I would have pressed wherever QR pressed.
You saw him
and I
go
was looking over his
in the
shoulder.
hole.
In the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna press him in the hole.
All right. You take 4 points of shocking damage.
Oh, me or him?
You.
Ow. I'm like, ah! Okay.
Is that what you wanted to show me? You hurting yourself?
No. No. What I wanted to show you was the fact QR stuck his hand in there, and then Avantier got paralyzed. We do it, we get shocked. I'm letting you know, just so you're aware that they can do that to us.
You there's a small you'll hear a knock at your door.
I'm not getting it.
Boys, I mean,
I don't think anyone else.
unless you're undressed in there, it's me, Dr. Cross. I could just come in. I'm just hoping that you guys aren't nude in there.
Oh, shoot. Hang on 1 second. I am actually jumpsuit on. And I go over to Linhart real quick. Don't tell her anything.
You can't activate it yet. What?
Yeah.
Sure, fine. I'm waiting.
And I'll go to the door because I have one person who's looking out the window whimsily, and then I got another person who is listening to My Chemical Romance.
She'll go.
That mask.
3 doors down.
She'll go. She's holding a metal case, going, my infinite wisdom. I clearly forgot this. Here, so she'll open it. You'll kind of see almost two kind of they're almost kind of loops, like ear-shaped loops that kind of go right and look like they would kind of wrap around your ear and then going. These are your communicators. They'll allow you to contact, well, effectively the tower, but more likely you'll get me. It depends. If you're having it kind of will depend. You'll be able to use this to contact your Astrology Corporation contact, or you can contact me. Just choose one or the other, really. You can just think of who you want to talk to. It will send you to them. You can put it on and off as you need. You don't have to keep this on, but
well, thank you, Doctor. I take the case and I open it. What do I see?
No, she opened it for you. It showed you the three like earpieces I was describing.
You gotta see the goods first before you deliver the money.
Got it. I look at them.
This is my suitcase. I gotta keep this thing.
Do they all have the earpiece thing that goes over?
Yeah, they you will see actually there is a letter, like there's an L, A, and G on each. They're kind of slightly different shapes, seemingly. Around the same, but slightly different shapes.
All right. I'm
Actually,
just saying,
one of
there's
them
an ear.
one of them is drastically different.
Yes, I was about to say there's an ear holder
One almost just
for
kind of looks.
Avant.
Yeah, one kind of just looks like a bud. It's like a solid circle. Not
Bud
even
like.
no ear like shape.
Shove it in the ear hole.
Yep. Yes.
Got 3 of them.
Put that sucker. What?
Birds, man.
Birds
Oh.
don't have 3 ears.
no, that was
we don't know
Lying
how.
if I had been...
Does Avant have 3 ears?
No.
The Via Rum I have. Damn. I take the case. Thank you, Doctor.
Well,
I'll
no,
distribute
take the-
these accordingly.
No, as you try to grab the case, you kind of. No, take the earpiece. This is my suitcase.
I need that for research.
My bad.
No, it's just
Sorry.
mine. I own it.
I was like, I'm sorry.
I just had to keep them in here. I forgot them in the room.
That's fine. That was my bad. I will take these earpieces. Hopefully, they don't cost too much.
You'll be fine. You'll find them to be pretty resistant.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Hope you have a great night. And I close the door. All right, guys.
So you kind of hear from the outside. That was a bit rude. Better get some tonight. So kind of, you hear that as almost walking away.
Like, wow. She just says everything. All right. Hey, gents, we got these awesome earpieces. And I toss Linhart's one to him, and I toss...
Oh, he moved. I'm surprised you
All right,
bothered to
all
move
right.
and catch it.
I already know how it's going to end, but I still toss Avant to him.
It hits me. I don't care.
So it's little, essentially something the size of a pebble hits you. And it just falls.
You know, I would pick it up and put it in your ear, Avant, but I have no idea where, if you have ears.
You already figured his back, so I think this whole... You already been there. Might as well go all
That's
the
true.
way.
And the last time I got hurt, so out of respect, I'm not. Linhart, I'm gonna watch you because I'm very curious to see how you put this in with the mask.
Linhart gets up, goes to the bathroom, locks the door, puts the earpiece on, then comes back out.
Damn it! Fold again. There's gonna be one day,
You locked the door.
Linhart. I'm gonna see who you are, and then I'm gonna take notes and be able to attest to your medical needs quicker. One of these days.
I think it'd be best if that day doesn't come.
Let's hope not. I'd rather not be stopping you guys from bleeding out on the field like back in.
I don't care about that. I don't want you to take my mask off.
Oh yeah, Gray's just distantly looking off to the side.
Yes.
Right.
Good old days.
No, it's not that. Quite the opposite, actually. He's got the 1,000-yard stare looking down. Right. So, I sit next to Linhart. Tell me about yourself, man. How you doing?
Player to player, Francisco, you know where this is gonna go. So
And
I
I'm
know.
wondering,
Hence
I'm
why,
why can you ask?
hence why I'm going to let the rest of the evening simmer away in its probable silence. As inevitably, I'm curious actually. So when the sun does go down, Avon, what do you do?
Well, once the sun has finally set, the last rays disappear from the horizon.
He starts drinking
Stand up
heavily.
Yeah. Stand up straighter. Move my limbs a little bit.
You see the
and
earpiece
just
at
go
your
walk
feet?
around. Yes, I will see that. Plop it in where my ear hole shall be.
Yeah, it kind of almost just like into your ear.
For the benefit of Gray, I'll move some of the feathers around so you can see him and then jam it in.
Oh, what? Oh, man.
When you guys put the earpieces on, I didn't actually describe this. It almost seems like it gets near your ear and then just kind of like attaches itself to your ear, like conforms to its shape. It's like a weird magnet. It's like a weird organic magnet.
Nanotech.
Then I will walk back over to where they were at.
So now, during the night, do you storm up conversations with Gray, or?
Yes, actually.
Sure.
It's just in the sun.
Yep. I'm just asking Avant the regular questions like, what's your religion about? Tell me about yourself. How do you get your that poofy?
To praise the sun is my one true goal, a task I shall bear at the death's final toll.
Ooh. I'm writing it all down in what I assume to be a pad I found.
Which is carved into the wall.
Paper still a thing?
No, I mean like an
iPad?
iPad. I assume we have those in this room.
I don't know if it would be called an iPad, but yes, you have
Brand recognition.
You just
Tablet
have
of some sort?
You just have you just have yours.
The apricot
They're all
pad.
zooms. It's the future.
It's all suits.
Zoom.
I knew it.
SanDisk.
Yep, I'm making a dossier about Avant.
I'll be honest.
Bring back the floppy disks.
I'll be honest. I enjoy your notes section, Avant.
Yeah, well, I have a list of predetermined rhymes, and I'm running very low.
Is that on a receipt?
No, it's some, I guess a notepad ripped off.
Oh.
I
Okay.
have 5 here. I've already used
It
3 of them.
looked like. All right. But yeah, like I just asked the general questions, like what color do you bleed, and do you have parents? Do you produce asexually?
Do you bleed?
You will.
For you.
For you.
No, Linhart will chime in like when he asks, "What color do you bleed?" And Linhart just says no.
For you.
Alright, but yes, I just go around making dossiers on the two guys.
Color I bleed
What
seems you red. Now please, no more questions. We must go to bed.
Of course.
All right.
Just remind me later to ask you if you ever lost a family member. Yeah. All right. Bet.
All right. You guys head to bed. You inevitably are as you rest over the evening. So set yourselves for long rests.
I think I'm the only one that needs a long rest.
Well, now technically
No,
Franny
I-
did
Frank
that
got
too.
zapped.
Greg got zapped. Yeah.
Let it be said,
Yeah, I got bitten.
everyone except,
Yeah.
for,
And Enum got bit.
everyone except for the Vex has bested me and got hurt. Let that be a lesson to all of you.
All right, you awaken. You awaken to an alarm within your room.
Oh god.
As
Probably.
you'll hear, as it awaken, and you'll hear the pleasant sound of.
Awaken, 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 awaken.
The time is now 7 a.m.
Good morning.
It is time to be awakened. As like your beds will like vibrate, like you'll just get like in your beds, you'll just get like a.
Ooh, they're coin-op beds.
They're massage beds.
Well, it's
Oh
very.
god, this is great.
Except it's like very fast and very like it's very It's either like very like paced and very fast.
Listen, man.
It's like a hotel in South Georgia.
Gray's a doctor. You can't imagine how many knots he has on his back.
Yeah, but just something vibrating doesn't inherently it just because it vibrates doesn't mean it at least it's a relaxation sensation. If it's
Alright.
too
Here's the way I
violent,
do it.
if it's too violent, it will just be more alerting than it will be relaxing.
We're
Once the
stimulating.
alarm goes off, I'll
That's what I'm
jump
saying.
right out
It's
of
more
bed.
stimulative rather than it is relaxing.
Ooh.
Say,
Preach.
the sun has once again graced the skies. Come on, comrades, up and rise.
Did you go to the window?
Nice. Face plants on the window.
Yep.
All right, and yes, QR and Enum, you will have been awoken as well. You will be have sent. You'll essentially just more be sent like a. It's somewhat as vocal, but it's just more of like a message rather than like a direct call. From Dr. Cross, which is like, make sure the subjects are downstairs by 8 into the astrologian's lobby. I will not be seeing you all today, but best of luck.
She said that to the two Vect.
Yeah, that was her like message, her like morning message.
I'll refrain from my witty comment.
What time is it right now?
Over at the window,
It is 7.
muttering in.
Okay.
You guys actually in the room. You'll kind of have a ring at the desk. Ba-da-doo. Ba-da-doo.
Oh, I was thinking like Lord of the.
No, like a
Right.
ring, like a ringtone. Ba-da-doo.
Ray's not a morning person. He gets up. He
Used to
looks
call me on
absolutely
my cell
ghastly. But he presses the button to answer the ring.
You know when that hotline bling?
Good morning, subjects. This is
What's so good about it?
This is a message from Dr. Cross. This is not a phone call, so please try not to make any witty remarks to me too often. I won't really hear them, nor will I care at this point. You all are going to be heading out. Make sure you're ready by 8. The two Vect will come and grab you by then. Just make sure you eat something, get yourself a hearty breakfast, and it's going to be your first day. Make sure you can communicate me for me, whatever. I'll be in my office. I'll be monitoring your progress as well. So I do hope the best of luck for you all, and hopefully no horrible side effects rear their ugly heads. Have fun! The hologram goes away.
I'm just gonna rest my head on the desk.
I'm by the window
remain there for a
muttering
couple
in
minutes.
my home language. That chittering going on.
All right. Well, I was gonna say, Alyssa. So I don't know who decides to choose a balanced breakfast.
Sure.
How does your guys' schedules go? I'm very curious
for the
about
first
this
half
actually.
hour, I'm going to be at the window doing my thing, muttering in Avon Ray for about a half hour. Yes. I was trying to refrain, but yes.
I'm just kind of doing wide gestures mostly.
But that's the first half hour of mine, and then once that's done, then I can order see what everybody else does.
For the first half hour, Gray's passed out on the desk.
Sleep.
Slobber. He
Linhart,
hair
how's your
all
first
over.
half hour?
Who?
Linhart.
My first half hour?
Yeah.
He orders breakfast for the room service thing,
All right. You're
and
giving
then
like
just undoes a little
menu.
latch on the mask without actually taking the mask off.
So
Damn it,
yeah,
I was asleep.
as he hits the
That's so interesting.
and then in front of it, the food will lay out to you. Yeah, and you'll grab it. Assume go to the table, or you just like stand there and eat it. I don't know.
Imagine
with you.
Gray perks up for a minute and then is just solely disappointed.
What?
Yeah, Gray will wake up in like half an hour, but he's currently passed out.
Oh, never mind
There's
then.
There's slobber on the desk. He's not making beautiful noises.
Yeah, he's not a pretty sight at the moment.
No, he's not a pretty.
Well, that will stop you from eating a well-balanced breakfast.
All I need is coffee.
All right, so that you guys have your first half hour.
And then I'll go over and order some.
Gray, you kind of have that like, huh! Like when you fall asleep and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
You're like, it's only
Get
been
up.
5 minutes. And then you look at the clock. You're
Do
like,
that, shoot
damn
up. Ah! Order coffee, clean my face, all rushed because I feel
I
like
feel
it's
like
been
Linhart
longer.
would be
Than...
one of those people that takes too long of a shower.
Linhart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the corner of the shower.
She's just sitting there
Just sitting there.
in the shower.
This-
No, he's backwards, letting the shower head just rain over him, not moving. Just there.
the
On the
steam
hot-
Whatever you
resonates
guys
with
want
my
to imagine,
soul.
sure. That's Linhart in the
Around
shower.
me are familiar faces.
Is there just one shower or are there multiple showers?
Yes, there's only one in this room.
Come
And
here
Art-
with that!
In the next half hour is me.
You're about-
consistently
yeah, you're about
pounding
a-
the door.
You're about, so you start, I'd say with the eating and everything, you start to get about 15 minutes remaining when
Linhart.
Linhart comes out of the shower.
you, so you, yeah, as I say, you roughly been in the shower for about 15 minutes now.
Even though he just took a shower, it doesn't really look like his appearance changed much
Well, yeah,
based
he's
off
wearing a
like
mask.
his dingy clothes and then the mask.
Oh, jeez. Go in and find out that Linhart used all the hot water.
We're in the
I don't think
future
that's
and
a-
you think
yeah.
there's still hot water problems?
You're
I was
fine.
gonna say, I don't think that's a problem.
I feel like you would still use it
As
long enough
comical
for the
as
hot
it
water
is,
to go away.
well, sadly, as comical as that would be, no.
No.
You have
I'm saying it'd be
heat
funny.
issues.
But
Okay, but seriously though, DM, it's the future. Does Flint have clean water yet? I need to know.
Oh,
This is
no.
very important to me.
Does
No,
Dylan in the
Flint's been
future
gone
have
for
clean
years.
water?
Who knows?
Still no.
Maybe something will be discovered one day.
Maybe
Still
someday.
believe in Flint, Michigan? Ugh.
The lost fountains of Flint in like on some planet.
Who is to know what is of the where Earth is in this realm? It
this
depends
is Star
where
Wars,
you all
man.
have
We're in a
been.
galaxy far, far away.
Remind me.
Long,
Actually, remind me,
long
Franny.
time
Which human galaxy were you with again? Like, there's two human galaxies. There's the hegemony of man, and then there's the Lanaya. I think that's what it's called.
Is it the one with the Waffle House or the IHOP?
These are important questions.
No, let's not go to that, Denny's. Let's go to the good one.
I would have been from the Legemity. Just from a farther star system. Or not star system, galaxy. Or solar system.
There are. I guess you could just call them space systems because they're not really solar systems. They're not based on. They're just based on areas that certain governmental places call their own. So yeah, there's Lakshay and there's the hegemony of man.
Yeah.
Government getting
Uh,
control
so-
over my humanity.
So you've been around Terra in your past. Terra once many millennia ago once called itself Earth.
Mm-hmm. I would have gone there for my psychiatry degree in the Fraser Crane School of Psychiatry.
Just because it's sadly just because it's
Salad and scrambled
sadly
eggs.
due to the benefit sadly due to the benefit of being now part of the hegemony of man due to its as we'll say acclamation one time. It still is. It is essentially the planet itself is essentially the pits.
So the water's
Yeah, no,
worse.
I
The
am
best type
saying
of
that
the best type of education you get there is essentially equivalent to a community college.
nice.
So you're not getting
Yes.
you're not getting
Gray
no
did-
you're not getting no PhD there.
I'm just saying he did get his psychiatry degree from the Fraser Crane School of Psychiatry.
It's not on Terra though. I'll tell you that. So potentially, and Dylan, to your answer, potentially no.
Okay.
Gray does not have the specific information of many locations on Terra.
We'll find out in episode 67.
Season 8.
Oh, I can't see your. Damn it!
All right.
I'm looking at Gray's character sheet, and I can't see his height. Francisco.
Let me double check on that one.
Because it's
I
4
swear
foot
to
7.
God, if you did
No,
it
I'm
again,
I'm curious.
Yes.
Or are you shorter? Description. Here we are.
Hold on.
For the
No.
class.
No. Did not make yourself 6 foot.
You can check it again, just make sure, Marshall.
Are you?
I swear to
hate
God,
you.
if you just change it to spite me, I'm gonna strike you the next time I see you.
Just look at all of them, Marshall.
Ah.
Marshall, did he do it?
No. No.
I don't
Roll
believe
deception.
you.
It's definitely better. It's definitely better.
What did he do?
I'll show
did
you
he
one
do?
day. I'll show you one day.
No, I'm hitting both of you next time.
I'll
I don't
show
care.
you. It's better. It's better for me to show you in person rather than to tell you now.
I
but
can't
yeah,
wait 2
I
days
was,
for this. I need
But
to
I
know
guarantee you, it does not say 5'12".
now. I swear to God.
I can guarantee you that for sure. I am not
It
lying
says
to you at all.
4'20".
Yeah.
You'll find out. I will say
Well,
I
no
don't know.
more.
I feel like you just do this to spite me, Francisco, because it's one of my many pet peeves.
You are not far from the truth on that statement. It is, in fact, to spite you. But it's not 5'12".
Yeah, the past 3 characters that I've
That will
known
remain for
of
Fridays.
Francisco's, their height have been 5'12", and he refuses to change it to the proper.
No, he is 5'10".
When he has a kid, he's gonna say, "Oh, this is my kid. He's 36 months old."
Oh
I will
God,
drop
no!
kick
I
your
would.
fucking kid.
I would do that with a smile.
I will fuck
Well, because Linhart, how tall are you?
Linhart.
Yeah, he's
let me see.
he's still a little bit taller than you. I was thinking if you were also, I thought maybe you might have also been the same height, so I would have been like, oh, okay.
Linhart's like 5'6". He's a little short guy.
He's a bit taller than you.
I'm a big boy.
It's about
I am
honestly,
the
it's
boy
pretty
now.
much the difference between me and Nick. It's
Yeah.
exactly the
Oh,
difference between me
no.
and Nick. I'm pretty sure Nick is 5'6".
Oh my god.
What a tiny man.
Don't let him hear you say that.
I know.
This is a Nick at
I'm only
MITC.
saying.
No, it's our
Nick
friend.
can straight up shank you.
No,
Yeah.
I met. I'm pretty sure
With
this
his-
guy's name is Nick, but I met a short Nick today, so that's why I was wondering.
He's not he is not a schoolboy. He's now a successful graphic designer.
Ah,
Were you about to say Korean? Like, what was that?
It's successful.
That's his goal. That's like the end game.
I mean, Anyway,
We're in the end game now.
We're in the
QR,
end game, boys.
Enum, it has reached about the 8 o'clock hour.
So QR, when he reactivates,
Activation.
gets out of a really, like, it is literally just like a small platform on the ground for a bed. It is just.
You're not gonna
basically
go
like
full
the
bender.
mattress
sleep
itself.
in a closet.
Perfect.
he gets up out of the bed. He's wearing a really old and faded, like, hooded sweatshirt that has like a band logo plastered across the front of it.
Why?
He realizes that he's still wearing it from yesterday, takes it off, puts it into the closet with the others. and then he would walk over to the easel he's got set up, briefly look over the painting that he was working on. He probably... Let me actually roll something. Yeah, okay. So he would have accidentally left the music on that he had playing. So there's like this future indie rock band playing music right now. Think like a Tegan and Sarah kind of thing. And
Oh my God.
so he's going to turn that off. And then he is going to grab any materials that he would
Enum
need
just
for the day.
feels like Enum just feels like random rage. Like an annoyance. Like
Why
watch
are you
over
not
it.
a barbarian?
Yeah, I
why
know.
aren't you a barbarian? I think at this point, Marshall will let you just change classes real quick.
We haven't started.
Yeah, like nothing's really. We have not gone to combat.
There's not much set in stone at this point.
I've been
He just
told that
goes-
multi-classing is an option.
Yeah, he just goes to the Dr. Cross and say, "I need to change my specs."
I need to be refitted.
Yeah.
I need to hurt things.
I need to be swole.
I have a rage inside, and it must be utilized.
QR would,
I must
he would
optimize his hatred.
basically just grab anything that he needed for the day, and then he would jauntily stroll out the door humming to himself because he's very excited to smell his
Enum,
friends.
how does Enum start the day?
He gets up. There's no Robo coffee equivalent thing like energy oil or anything I can get, right?
Yeah.
It's
Energy
not.
oil.
I'll get energy oil
High
or
octane energy oil.
Robo coffee.
They use
You
He gets a
kinda-
cup of
you drink
that.
it like normal, too.
Just takes
Yeah.
a hit at Nost.
He's staring out the window. If he could be crying, he would, because he's like, I have to deal with QR and man babies again today.
I hate my job, man.
All around me are familiar faces.
We have two edge lords.
God, you and
Uh,
Linhart are perfect for each other.
And he finishes the coffee and then walks out the hallway,
Okay. You
ready to
guys,
face the day.
you guys meet up at the subject's door relatively about the same time.
Good morning, QR.
Hello, Enum. It's a pleasure to see you again.
I open the door.
All right, you will wake up to see seemingly Gray finally leaving the shower. Avad, did you eat at all, or did you continue to stare out the
Yeah, I
window?
ordered some fish.
Okay,
so
okay.
at this point, they'd see me just.
So you see that?
Linhart's just staring at
Yep,
Abe.
Linhart back at the wall. Back at staring on
I
the
was gonna
bed,
say-
while on the bed. Just
I then immediately close the door and say QR to QR, like, you can do it.
Not it.
It's your day.
Again.
God, it's like when
QR?
a couple has a baby and it wakes up in the middle of the night. It's like,
Yeah.
your turn.
It's your
Not
turn
it.
to get him.
You've been
It's
given
your
the
child.
go ahead.
Before the day
Enum?
starts, it's your son.
I really appreciate that you have so much confidence in me. It makes me feel pretty good.
That's not my intention. I wake up every morning hoping you feel worse than the last.
Too late. I'm happy. I'll see you later. And I'm going to turn and just go into the room.
All right, QR greets you all as we'll end our session for today.
That would be a sweet
I
gift.
like how it took us an hour to leave one room.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh
This
yeah.
It'll take us
campaign
another hour to leave another room.
is
Look,
a
man, don't
beautiful
fuck with my
catastrophe.
son,
Don't have to tell
Episode
me twice.
50. We try on the Gabos frame. First time.
This is a beautiful disaster.
All right.
Episode 51. Ina finally kills QR.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next time on Dark Matter.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you missed the last episode, our first episode VOD is up today. The VOD on our YouTube page. You can check that in the link below. Otherwise, the VOD for this episode will pretty much immediately be ready on our Twitch here if you missed part of it. Otherwise, VODs pretty much come up a week after it was streamed. So you can check them out at those times. Otherwise, there's not much else.
Yeah.
Other than goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Raise the sun.
everybody. We all love each other.